The rumours are true, and it's finally here. Not only is In Gear back, but so am I. I'm excited to be back, and if we're back, it must mean that we're going to be bigger and better than ever, of course, with bigger budgets. But Okay, all right, thank you. Well, apparently we don't have a bigger budget than before, but at least I get to spend time on the camera alone. Who are you?
I'm a viewer who would like to come onto the show and test a car. And if you would like to come onto the show and test a car, all you need to do is send an email to ingear@city7tv.com.
In fact, she's absolutely right. That's all you have to do. Now, coming up in this new series, we've got a whole load of new stuff coming, including a gentleman from Virgin Radio. But for now, we're going to be looking at this. In a region dominated by 4x4s, in a region where, well, quite frankly, sedans and saloons are being pushed to one side, why on earth would Alfa Romeo be selling a car like this? If we believe 4x4s are popular because they're spacious and they can house your family, then you're not going to like this. First of all, from a family point of view, well, if you look in the back, there's nowhere to put your family. In fact, there's nowhere to put anything, including my drink. I'm used to being able to drive and having a cup holder somewhere centrally. We've got this thing here, which may double up as a cup holder, but really, this is an anti-family car. It's not until you begin to drive this car that you really can begin to appreciate what Alfa Romeo Brera is all about. You see, when you get behind the wheel and you start doing what the car is meant to do, and that is be driven by somebody who enjoys driving, the feel is very different. You forget about the fact that it's not a family car. You forget about the fact that you can't see that far ahead when you're stuck in traffic because you're surrounded by 4x4s. This car is a man's car. I know what you're thinking. What on earth is he talking about? I'm talking about the power, the sound. The moment I put my foot onto that accelerator, it sounds absolutely awesome. And what about the looks? The looks from outside this car, it looks sexy. And you then add into that how I feel, how the driver feels sat here behind the cockpit or sat in the cockpit behind the wheel of this car. Who cares that it can't sit anybody else? Who cares what your passengers feel like? When I'm sat here, I do feel as though I'm sat in the cockpit of a jet fighter. When you look at the dashboard and you look at this, I mean, this instrument panel that's coming around here, the way the dials are situated across the dashboard and then through the center console and down, it gives you the impression that you're on board a plane rather than in a car. even as we look down towards this area that I was so critical of. Who cares there's no cup holders? This is a car that you go out and you drive for sheer enjoyment, for pleasure. I've said it before and I'll say it again. A car is an individual piece of equipment. Whilst it fits one person, it might not fit somebody else. Liking a car is an individual taste. Just because I say I don't like a car, it doesn't mean that you won't like it. If you read about a car where they put it down and they say bad things about it, indeed they give it a bad review, it doesn't matter. It's down to you. I would suggest you test drive every car and all cars, and this is a case in point. I looked at this car and I thought, this is not going to fit in with the lifestyle of the UAE. It is not going to work. I was wrong. A car is for driving. If you want to drive a car, this could be for you. Something else I like sitting here in the cockpit is this panoramic view that I get when I push back the shade. I feel as though the car has just doubled in size. It's a fantastic feeling. It's very airy. It gives the impression of being roomier than what it actually is. The basic rule for hazard lights is that they should never be used while the car is in motion. The only exception to that rule is that if you're driving in a stream of traffic and you have to brake hard, you put your hazard lights on for a moment to let the following car know that you are braking hard. Fog is one of the most frustrating conditions to drive in. If you drive with your hazard lights on during fog, it makes the condition even more frustrating. Following drivers don't know what's happening ahead. For example, if you're already driving with your hazard lights on during a foggy condition and you need to brake harsh because of queuing traffic ahead, what are you going to do? How are you going to let the people behind you know that you're braking hard? During the foggy conditions, it's more important to let other cars know exactly what you're going to do. If you're driving with your hazard lights already on, how can you tell people you're going to change lanes? How can you use your indicator signals? Your hazard lights are on. So, during foggy conditions, the only thing that should be on are your normal lights, your headlights. Remember, not your side lights, your headlights. If you have rear fog lights, they should go on also. If you have front fog lights, put them on, but put them on in addition to your headlights. So please, during the fog, during the winter months, don't use your hazard lights while the car is moving.